Hey folks, it's me, all trimmed up. All trimmed up. I usually let my hair go pretty bad, but that was a pretty good one. I'd like to stay at this, um, but sometimes it's not long enough to cut, but it's past where I like it. It's weird. It's kind of like the yard too. Like you want to mow the yard, but then it's like when you do, you can't tell where you just cut, so you need it to grow a little bit. When I was a kid, I hated haircuts. I still kind of hate haircuts, but I do most of it myself, so it's not so bad. I just hate people futzing with it. No, leave me alone. Uh, I always hated it, and when I was a little kid, I would put it off as long as I could. In fact, if you're my Facebook friend, you can go look in my photos and find a picture of me with the Little Lord Fauntleroy bowl cut. And it would only be like that because I wouldn't let my mom cut my hair. I'd be like, no, I don't want it. And she's like, all right, fine, I don't have to cut a little brat's hair. And then it would get so long that it would get like into my eyes. And that's when she cut it. And then she cut it, and she cut it like this short. So haircuts were always kind of traumatic in that way. That, I'd go to school and the kids would be, making fun. And then now it occurs to me, they should have been laughing at that bowl cut, you know? But I guess it came on so gradually. Another experience that was really traumatic as far as haircuts go, we went for Christmas. My dad took us, my sister and I, to Christmas in Arizona. And we stayed with my Uncle Dale and Aunt Phyllis. And then, of course, we spent time with Kenny and Lyle and Penny and... not sure if Donna was there. Yeah, I think she was because she got me a microscope or robotics. Either way, the whole Cook clan. So they bring us to Fantastic Sam's. We're all getting Christmas haircuts. And I'll be damned. I'm going first because I hate haircuts. And I'm like, let me get it out of the way. So they wet my hair. They cut half of it. And this is wintertime, so even in Arizona it's cold in the wintertime. They cut half of it. And then when I was like, wait a minute, look, do you see something moving? And she calls a couple of the other people over, and at this point there's 4 people gathered around my head, and they're like, oh my god, it's lice. Yeah, lice. So, they verify that it's lice, and they say, well, we can't continue cutting your hair. In fact, you have to leave. So I left, and I'm standing out in the cold with like half of a haircut. My hair's wet, and it's cold, and I have lice, and it sucked. But then Julie had lice too. I don't think the Cook kids had caught it yet, luckily for them. So I was so scared that I was going to have my head shaved. Ooh, scary. But, as a little kid at the convention, you don't want to have a shaved head. And it was just, I hated it. I had to stand out there with half a haircut and all cold for like 30 minutes. It's probably actually like 7 minutes, but my mind makes it more. Anyway, no, it was microscopes that we got, and here's how I know. Because they kept plinking hairs out of my head to look at the lice under microscopes. So I'd just be sitting there all bummed out, lice-having kid, with the rit in my hair or whatever. Well, this is probably after the rit was in my hair. And then, ding, ding, people kept pulling out pieces of hair out of my head to look at the lice. So that formed a huge thing that I would never go to a haircutting place. And then in high school, I would go and I'd get my mohawk cut because they loved it. The people at the Fantastic Sam's or whatever, they loved it because they got to do a creative haircut and whatnot. And of course, in my mind, they were in love with me, and I was like planning to ask them to the prom or whatever, 14-year-old weirdo. So that's that. Talking about haircuts, I was going to tell you guys this weird story about this splinter I got on my forearm that stayed lodged in there for about 6 or 7 years. I'll tell you that story some other time. But just talked to Julie on the phone. That was great. I'm got 2 weeks left for the art show. I'm pumping it out. Been going back and forth with Val. Off school tomorrow, so I'll talk to you guys then. Maybe do an earlier blog. Peace.